Good evening, welcome to Monday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, they won't work. The message from the streets about new laws to curb gangs.
Already, the new legislation has got a nickname, Gangbos, anti-social behaviour orders to curb the activities not of individuals, but of anyone suspected of belonging to a gang. Police believe they're vital and could even save lives.
But as Bob Hockenhall's been finding out, not everyone agrees.
These teenagers in Wolverhampton know gang members, but they themselves have been steered away from that lifestyle. Instead, they're being encouraged to develop a love of music by a charity that gives vulnerable youngsters the chance to channel their energies away from gang culture. Both they and their mentors are sceptical about the new gang injunctions, which can be used to ban people from certain areas or legally force them to change their behaviour.
It's going to cause a lot of controversy. I don't necessarily think it will work, because a lot of black youths think they're being picked on anyway. So if they get stopped at all by the police, then they're just going to think, oh, why are you picking on me because I'm black?
I don't think it'll work at all. You know, people can't go into certain areas and can't wear certain clothes. It's just making people feel more trapped. People will rebel more.
The police in Birmingham say gang-related violence has already fallen dramatically since 2003, but they believe the new legislation will play a vital role in helping to break gang culture.
Well, this legislation will protect individuals, it will protect siblings and families, husband and wives, and it will protect the community.
Birmingham's most notorious gang-related violence was the shooting of teenagers Charlene Ellis and Letitia Shakespeare in 2003. Letitia's mother says injunctions might work in some cases, but she feels more should have been done to tackle gang culture sooner.
When I went to the government 8 years ago and told them there was a problem here, it was containable 8 years ago. However, it took 8 years. It's been allowed to fester and to build and to develop now where I'm not saying they can't contain it, but their job's going to be a lot harder than what it would have been.
Supporters of the injunctions, though, feel the legislation will ultimately lead to fewer lives being lost through gang violence. Bob Hockenhall, BBC Midlands Today.
Well, with us now is Kirk Dawes, a former policeman who works with gangs as a mediator. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Dawes.
Pleasure.
Do you think these new powers will work?
I think they will, and I think that from what I've heard from the previous report about how it's going to target all members of gangs, that's not true. If you look at the statutory instrument that comes along with it, it actually informs the police and public authorities how they may deal with these individuals. And you're talking about individuals who present the highest risks around the community with gang violence, and that's what it's for. So it's not for every member of a gang, it's for individuals that need to be, in some ways, controlled.
But clearly from Bob's report that we've just heard there, people are sceptical about whether it'll work. They see it'll make them feel trapped, was one quote. Well,
mine's born on experience. If you're talking about dealing with individuals that present the highest risks, then some of the interventions that are mentioned in the instrument have already been used in the multi-agency public protection arrangements. So some of the things that are already there have already been used for those who present seriously the highest risk. We're talking about providing something before people criminalise themselves in some cases, in other cases to save their own lives and to save lives of others, and also about the fear that exists within the community. A gang injunction will essentially make somebody do something to try and change their lifestyle.
Will we ever see the end of gangs in cities? Is it an inevitable part of city life?
Yeah, but remember, there are different gangs. There are gangs who are not there for criminal purposes. So I don't think we'll ever see the end of gangs. But those who are there for criminal purposes, we've got to do something to control their behaviour, especially when we're talking about gang-related violence.
Kirk Dawes, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here with